you forget why you even came into the industry. And it's a good industry. It's a lot going on. Sometimes you got to go back though. You got to go back and really find out what brought you into the game, because that's what's going to sustain you. Besides the money and that sort of thing, the celebrityness, if you decide to work with celebrities, you're going to have to find out what's going to keep you, what's going to maintain you, what's going to keep you in the game for the next 20, 30, 40 years. You know, so what I did is I did it myself. I went back through some of my hair books that I used to have back in the day. I started going through my collection and going through some of the pages and just seeing, you know, because a lot of things come back into style. You know, hair color comes back into style. If you look at the runway shows that's going on now, they're actually bringing out the fall and winter hair colors, which are going back into the darker colors. We've had a lot of fun with the vivids this summer, but they're going back into some of the browns and some of the darker colors. So what I started doing is I started going back through my hair books and looking at some of the styles, because some of the styles are still relevant. This is someone with starter twist, still relevant, you know, and a lot of the things that we used to do back then are still relevant. It's just like styles like this, they've just added hair color now. So it's one of those things where, you know, you're reinventing yourself. You're trying to figure out, okay, what's going to take me to the next level? And that's what you want to tap into. You want to find out if it's something you want to know for brand new that you've never done before. There are brochures, there are magazines out there. I love hair color. I love all the hair colors that have come out this summer, the Vivids, the Pravanas, the Wella colors, the Redken colors. I love them all. I'm in all kind of hair color. But it's a lot to hair color if you don't have clients that you can really get into, you know. So then you have to experiment with things like wigs. I use hair colors on a lot of my hair extensions. My favorite hair colors are the reds, you know. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh wow, okay, I need to look at what they're doing in the reds. You know, what hairstyles are they carrying the reds with? Because I love the reds. I love the blondes, you know. So it's one of those things where you have to really dig deep. Look at there. And I've seen this hairstyle in the colors that they're doing this summer. The purples, the mermaid colors, the blues, the pinks, the purples. You know, they're just taking, you know, the basic hairstyles, and they're just adding that color to it, and that pop and that boom, you know, and it makes you say, oh, okay, I want to try that too, you know. But sometimes we have to go back and train. You know, sometimes we got to go back to the game and train, you know. So I had to get some DVDs on the Chroma Silk pastels, because I didn't have training in that. You know, you can't just get a customer and experiment. You have to know what you're doing, you know. So I got one of the DVDs. It's kind of showing backwards on the Chroma Silk pastels. They have the Pravana Vivids, you know, with your bright yellows and your bright blues and your greens and your oranges. I mean, sometimes we have to find out what we love, and we have to train in it, and we got to get back into it, you know. And when I came up, they had a lot of the you know, the freeze hairstyles where, you know, once you got your hair done, it was done. It was going to stay for the next week or two, rain, sleet, or snow. That hairstyle was going to stay. And I loved them. I'm from the South. I mean, sometimes you have to bring it back, because hair is like fashion. It comes back around no matter how much time passes around. The updo is an updo from now into eternity. It's just different variations of the updos. If you love updos, but you haven't had a client that needs an updo in about a year or 6 months, then that, once again, you have to go back into training, you know, and find out what you really like and what you want to do, you know. So that's my only thing about the hair game, is if you love it, if you really love the hair game, I mean, like you sleep hair, you wake up hair, you walk in a hair store and you feel like you won the lottery. That's how I am. I walk in a hair store and I feel like I won the lottery. And then they came out with bundles with the Brazilian hair, Malaysian hair, you know, and you're just like, oh, hair everywhere. I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, you know, if the love of the hair game, not just to make the money, because the money's going to come. Money come and go. Stylists come and go. We come into the game, 10 years pass. If we fall out of love, we get out of the hair game, you know, and it's one of those things that it's embedded. It comes from our grandparents, our parents. I mean, I came up where they were still using the straightening comb off the kitchen stove. Okay, I mean, now they're doing flat irons. They call it the silk press. I mean, they got names for every, but it's still back in the day, getting your grandma or your auntie or great grandma, getting that straightening comb, putting it on the hot fire and combing it through your natural hair out. Now, the same with hair. Back then, they had the updo, they had the big hair, they had the bobs, they had the pixies, they had the buns, they had everything. If you look back, because when you have that love, no matter what, whether you're looking at it now, you look at the past, you look at 10 years ago, or you project 10 years from now. You know, if you have that love, it's going to be there forever. Nobody can take it from you. And no matter what job you have, if you get fired, if you get laid off, no one can take away your education and your passion. And you got to remember that. Nobody can take that away, because that's you. That's what's in you. That's what, you know, in my belief, that's what God gave me. You know, something that I can hold on to, that I can love. So just reach back. Because if you reach back, you look at what you got now, and you look forward, you will always fall in love with the hair game.